So I'll share these 3 verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. We chant them before we do Srimad Bhagavatam, but they're actually very relevant to what we're doing today. So, Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraya. That means, before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is Bhagavad Gita, this is like the prequel to the Srimad Bhagavatam. One should offer the respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the Supreme Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. This is the lineage of how the knowledge has come, so we're offering our obeisances to the personalities that were instrumental in bringing this knowledge to us. Then, Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hridyantastoya Bhadrani, Vedhunoti Suhirsatam. And that one means Sri Krishna, who's the Paramatma, the super soul in the heart of each living entity, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, so one who's honest. Yes? Nidhi is very honest, I can tell. She doesn't, not that the world corrupted her yet. One who's the benefactor of the truthful devotee, he cleanses the heart of material desires from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages. So, if you have all kinds of material desires, your problem is you have not heard enough the Lord's messages. So this is why we're here. And so also we should know material desires bring what? Yes, misery. It brings suffering, all kinds of trouble to your heart. Because you want something that can't fully satisfy you. So if I have a taste for poison, and you'd be like, why would you have a taste for poison? I was like, well, many of us, we have a taste for poison. Anyone here like soda? Yes, so, especially the diet soda, it's all like poison, practically. But if you develop a taste for poison, it's going to give you trouble later on. Some disease will come, some problem, cancer, this, that, and the other thing. What type of soda you like?
I like the Diet Coke.
Diet Coke?
Yes.
Just go drink the regular Coke. Just get rid of it altogether. Maybe try these Olipops or something that are coming out now. I don't even recommend any of these drinks. But what's that? Yeah, but sugar is better than this diet sugar. This diet sugar. I know somebody who used to drive trucks for, I think it was Coca-Cola or Pepsi, one of the big companies. And they were carrying this aspartame, which is this chemical that they use in the diet drinks, and it was like corroding. It went through the truck. It corroded through the truck, and they had like a big accident all over the place because it's like that potent. So imagine what it's doing to the body. So today, at least if we did one good thing today, we make a plea to Elijah: get a better drink. don't drink poison. So anyhow. But yes, but for the sake of this analogy, taking in something like Diet Coke or even regular Coke with the processed sugars and all these things and all the crazy flavorings and stuff they put in it, it's going to be problematic if we develop a taste for these things, any unhealthy thing in this world. And material desires, trying to enjoy through the body and the senses and the mind, these are all poison. Because you can't be fully satisfied getting them. So, but the only way that you can be free from this is you have to hear the messages, you have to hear the revelation. My wife will have to come up. So when she comes up, you're ready. So you can come relax whenever. We have many poisons, and material desires are the poison. So what's the solution? Shrinvatam Nashtaprayeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Means by regular hearing of this message of Godhead, the Bhagavad, and simultaneously by associating with the Bhagavata, Nityam Bhagavata Seva, by rendering service to the Bhagavad. So, rendering service can come in many different ways, but the chief and principal service is what? What's the first service of bhakti? Of the 9 processes given by Prahlad Maharaj. Mukunda knows. The first of the 9 services given by Prahlad Maharaj. Yes, Shravanam. So Shravanam is hearing. So it says Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So if you render service to the Bhagavat, meaning the message of Bhagavat or the person Bhagavat who's representing that message, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So by regular hearing of this message of the Bhagavatam, all the troubles in one's heart will be completely destroyed, almost completely destroyed. There's some tinge there because there's the last few things we have to take care of. But almost completely destroyed, and love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead will arise. And it will be irrevocable. It will never be able to go away, actually. Once realization of God is there, it's actually finished. You can't go back. No take backs, Once God gives himself to you, then you'll never be able to unsee it. Do you ever look at one of those internet memes, and there's something hiding in the background, and it says once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. So it's like that. Once you realize the reality of God, even if you try to close your eyes and hide and close all your senses and hide, you won't be able to unsee it, and therefore you'll never ever be able to be happy in the material world again. Hare Krishna, Craig. So very happy to see you. So, yes, once you realize the reality of God in your life, you'll never be able to unsee it, actually. It's never going to go away, so might as well just keep going with the path. Don't try and close your ears and say, no, I'll try and enjoy over here, because you won't. Why? Because material enjoyment, meaning enjoyment through the body and in the senses and the mind, can never be fully enjoyed. Why? I'll give you a hint. Why can soda never fully nourish you? Yes, it's because it's temporary. And, why can a temporary thing never fully satisfy you? Well, because it's temporary. By nature, it can't fully. But you are not temporary. That's the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Craig, you have a good seat?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually giving a basic synopsis of Bhagavad Gita. Craig always comes in the mornings during the week, so it's our rare treat. We get to see him on a weekend. And he comes Saturdays too, but for Sunday program. But we don't get to study Bhagavad Gita a lot. But by good fortune today, we're studying Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita actually is perfect because it actually lets us know exactly what our situation is in the material world, and that we have a pretty deep responsibility, or we will be stuck at that one level. So what's the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita called? Anyone know? Deepti, you listened to this class before. Does anyone else know? Sometimes Prabhupada translates it as setting the scene. Traditionally, in Bhagavad Gita's presentation, it's called Vishada Yoga. Vishada Yoga. What's yoga mean?
Meditation.
It's part of yoga, but not the meaning of yoga. Anyone know? Sanskrit?
Breathing.
You said something, Craig?
No, I say I can't remember.
Oh.
Breathing technique.
No. These are all parts of yoga, but not the yoga itself. Yoga, it comes from the word yug, which means to unite, to link, or connect. So yoga is connection. Connection to what? We'll find out. But to make a connection. Yoga is like meeting. When Krishna and his most dear, most associates, they meet, it's called yoga, and when they get separated, it's called viyoga. So like this. So yoga is making that connection. And what's vishada? Does anyone know? Anyone know some Sanskrit here? Okay, Deepti. To lament. It's the lamentation of Arjuna. The first chapter is Arjuna lamenting because he doesn't know what to do. He's completely bewildered and he's completely confused. So this is going to lead to our verse today. But we're going to skip to the end of Bhagavad Gita. But before we do that, I'm going to explain many things. So I don't want to lose the essence of it all and offer my obeisances to my spiritual teachers, because without their mercy, I have no The process of yoga is not possible for me. And the only reason I'm sharing anything is only due to their mercy. So we will chant these mantras together. Harmonium? No harmonium? What do you think? Yes? Where's the harmonium? It's back here.
It's right in front of you.
Oh my goodness. It was the very best. So, I've been, when I play the harmonium out here, Abhiram comes and dominates the harmonium. So I've been like keeping it up here to have more control over the harmonium. And now I like it better. So, all together. First we'll honor Srila Prabhupada because we're going to read his books, and he is the founder Acharya of this movement here in this Western world. And without his mercy, we'd all be practically, this would not go on. So we'll honor him first with the first mantra. Do you have that mantra to share? If not, it's okay. This is
Namo
Krishna
Sorry, I lost it. Sorry. Sapitam yena bhutade svayam rupa Vandeham Srivatam Sevata Vadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavansa Sri Gurvam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitanshya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dheena Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
First and foremost, I'd like to offer my obeisances unto Sri Guru. Without his mercy in my life, I'd have nothing to share. I'd have no reprieve from the burning miseries that this world guarantees us, which is actually the reason for Vishada, for lamentation. No matter what you do in this world, whether you follow all the right dharma, you follow all the scriptures, Arjuna did all these things. It doesn't matter at the end of this day. At the end of the day, if you don't have a certain proper conception, what you're going to find yourself is lamenting. So that's the nature of this world. Why am I smiling? Because there's a great hope beyond the lamentation, but unless you come to the stage of lamentation and meet that yoga, you cannot realize the higher stage. So that's why first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called, we just said it, Vishada Yoga, the yoga of lamentation. And so this is the first step. Many people in this world, they haven't realized this yet. They haven't met the realization of lamentation yet. They still think they can do it, they can be happy. Especially someone with a body like Avani's, which is so youthful and there's so much hope in the world still. But if they don't fix a certain conception, as old age, disease, and the many circumstances of this world creep in, maybe Elijah, you're young too. In your body, there still could be hope. No, we could definitely be happy in this world. But maybe Elijah has already had some of this realization, where that's not the case. Why? Because it's temporary. And how can you be permanently happy in a temporary situation? You can. So what does Krishna do? Is first, what's Arjuna do? He laments the whole first chapter. This lamentation, this lamentation, this lamentation. The Vedas say this, the Vedas say that, and and he's doing all the calculations. And at the end of the day, no matter what he comes up with in this situation, there's no way to be happy here. There's no way to be happy here. He's facing a war. On one side, he's got to kill his teachers. On the other side, him and his brothers are fighting, and his family members will die, and all the righteous people will die on one side, and then his teachers and loved ones and the whole rulership of the world will die on the other side. There's just no good situation here. Prabhupada says that nobody wants fire. Like we just had this smoke come in, right? What did that come from?
Fires.
The forest fires in Canada. Nobody wants fire, but it happens anyway. No, I mean, maybe someone did intentionally. But, all the residents of the forest that were living there, they probably, like the animals and things, they probably didn't want the fire, but it comes anyway. And that's the nature of this world. Vishada is guaranteed. But Vishada only is guaranteed if you are yes, but they're the same. Actually, if you're foolish, if you don't understand reality, your guaranteed situation eventually, because like you can have youthful naivety, where you can be like, like Abhiram is very blissful right now and is being a baby, just like we all are like blissful in our baby stage. And as we grow older, maybe Elijah and Avani are a little bit more blissful than the rest of us because they haven't experienced as much of life yet as the rest of us, at least in this body and time. Like Nidhi is still blissful. But over time, eventually, if the certain conception isn't understood, the end result is Vishada, lamentation. And it's good. It's a step. It's chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. Step 1 is realize the misery of this material world. So Arjuna did it. He accomplished it. At the end of the day, he was miserable. He reached yoga, Vishada yoga. Where am I? How did we get to Vedabase? But I'm going to skip to the end of Bhagavad Gita now. But then we're going to go back to the beginning. So we'll do a little dance here. So one of the last verses of Bhagavad Gita, I think it's 18. Yes. And then we'll read what Prabhupada says, and then we'll talk more. Kachire tachtrutang partha. You can all see? Tvaya grena chetasa. Kachira jnana sammoha. Pranashtas te dhananjaya. Kachit. So whether, it's like saying have you, whether. Dainya, Hare Krishna. Etat, this. Shrutam, heard. Partha, O son of Pritha. Tvaya, by you. Ekagrena, with full attention. Chetasa, by the mind. Kachit, whether. Agyana, ignorant. Samoha, illusion. Pranashta, dispelled. Te, of you. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth. So, translation is, O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna. That's Dhananjaya. Have you heard this attentively with your mind? Are your illusions and ignorance now dispelled? Prabhupada is saying, the Lord was acting as the spiritual master of Arjuna. Therefore, it was his duty to inquire from Arjuna whether he understood the whole Bhagavad Gita in its proper perspective. If not, the Lord was ready to re-explain any point or the whole Bhagavad Gita if so required. Actually, anyone who hears Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master like Krishna or his representative will find that all his ignorance is dispelled. Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or a fiction writer. It is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person, if he is fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative, is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. So when we chant Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun militang yena tasmai Shri Gurave. Chakshurun militang yena. Whom? He who's opened up my eyes. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my obeisances unto him, Shri Guru. So this is so important. That's why Prabhupada is emphasizing. When we read Prabhupada's books, he'll talk about the bona fide spiritual master, the bona fide spiritual master. You need a bona fide spiritual master. You need a bona fide spiritual master. Why? Because if you don't get a spiritual master, someone who can take you out of ignorance, you will stay in ignorance. And when you're in ignorance, the platform for you is Vishada Yoga, lamentation. That's your guarantee. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We sing every morning, Samsara Dava. This is the main prayer Prabhupada gave for Mangal Arti. He sings, Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam. What's it mean? Samsara is this material world. Davanala is like a forest fire. Lidha Loka, that's afflicting the whole world. But Tranaya Karunya, delivering mercy. Ganaganatvam, like merciful rain clouds. And then Praptasya Kalyana, he's obtained all auspiciousness, Gunarnavasya, because he has an ocean of all of these qualities. And then Vande Guru Sri Charanam, I offer my obeisances to the holy feet of Sri Guru. So this is the secret, how to get out of the Davanala, or the forest fire of lamentation. And Prabhupada is given, it's the first prayer that he tells us to chant every day. The first word. Samsara is the Vishada, what we, Davanala Lida Loka is, we're in this Vishada. There's a forest fire engulfing us in this material world. And we're miserable. And guess what? You're guaranteed to be miserable until we do get the spiritual master. So, in this verse, what does Krishna do? He says, Kachid, like, have you heard this part? True tongue. Have you heard this? Tvayeka grena chetasa, with one pointed attention. So he's implying we have to hear spiritual knowledge with one pointed attention. Not just, all right, I come to the temple on Sunday, I chant, I cook even, in the, do everything. But, time for class, okay. Phone, or, I don't even want to pay attention to class, and so many other things. But actually, this is very important. We have to hear. And we have to hear Tvayeka agrena chetasa, with one eka agrena, one pointed attention. If you don't have this one pointed attention to hearing, then how can you actually take in the knowledge? This is very important. You have to have this one pointed attention to hearing. And then he says, Kachita jnana sammoha, has your ignorance and your bewilderment been dispelled? So this is actually what Krishna's offering here. And so he offered it. He gave the whole Bhagavad Gita. This is like one of the last verses of Bhagavad Gita. But Arjuna, he confirms, yes, I feel completely enlightened by what you've told me, and I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do now. I'm no longer bewildered. And he's feeling a sense of peace. So this is the symptom. This is the litmus test. Do you know exactly what you should do? Have you gone beyond the lamentation? Because in the beginning, Arjuna, his problem was he was lamenting. And he didn't know what to do. And why was he lamenting? He didn't know what to do. That's why we lament. We lament when we come to a situation, I just don't know what to do about this. I've tried everything and it's not working. And so we lament. That's all we have left to do. We just cry, But actually, when you have a solution, you don't lament. So that's why Krishna, what did he do? Well, what's important? What did Arjuna do first? How did he get into good? So this is 2.7. Remember, these are very important verses. 2.7 is Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prichchami tvam dharma samudha chetaha yachtre shannishtitang bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanam. So what is he saying? Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. Due to this miserly weakness, I've been overcome with the fault in my swabhav, my nature. Prabhupada translate, now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. Confused about my duty is the next line, but it says, Prichchami tvam dharma samudha chetaha. I'm asking you, Prichchami Tvam, Dharma Samuda Cheta. What? My Dharma, my duty is Samuda. I'm bewildered of my duty in my mind. Cheta, I have no idea what to do. So then he says, Yachtreyashan Nishtitam Bruhitan Me. Please, I'm asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. What will bring Shreyas or auspiciousness to my life? What will bring real good fortune to my life? Please tell me. Shishashteham Shadimam Tvam Prapanam. I am your disciple. Shishashteham. Shadimam. Please instruct me. Tvam Prapanam. I'm a soul who's prapana. I'm surrendered unto you. So this is very important. Now, notice what happens here. Up until this point, Arjuna is lamenting, and it's mostly Arjuna speaking the Bhagavad Gita. Up until this point, Krishna has barely said anything. He said, take me into the middle of the two armies, Arjuna. That's all Krishna said until this point. And maybe he said one or other things. Why are you lamenting? This is unbecoming of you. But Krishna barely spoke anything. But then Arjuna does this. He surrendered unto Krishna. He accepted as bona fide spiritual master, which is what Prabhupada is saying. And now what's available to him? He can graduate from Vishada Yoga. Vishada is the yoga of lamentation. It's actually smart. When you really evaluate this world and when you have a certain consciousness, all you can do is find lamentation. And it's good. It's yoga, actually. It's good. So all the times you've lamented up until this point, congratulations. You've achieved Vishada Yoga. But anyone say, well, I don't feel very good about this. I don't feel good about this. Ignorance was bliss. No, ignorance was not bliss, because eventually you will realize this. No matter what, if you don't realize it now, at death it's coming. Vishada. Everything that you are placing your experience of in this world is going to lead you to lament. And congratulations, you've achieved something. You've achieved something. Now, though, if you want to just stay lamenting, not ideal. This situation is meant to be graduated from. How do you graduate? What Arjuna did right here. Yes, Abhini.
I have a question.
Tell me.
So what does lamentation have to do with yoga?
Because yoga is to make the link or the connection. When you actually connect to the nature of reality, what the conclusion you come to is lamentation. So, when you're in a certain state of consciousness, so in the state of ignorance, your evaluation, if you connect with reality in the state of ignorance, the conclusion is lamentation. But that's where we all start from. Now, though, there's a solution. There's higher yogas. Krishna gives many paths of yoga, and he gives the best path of yoga. But he doesn't just say, okay, Vishada Yoga is good for you, Arjuna. Vishada Yoga is a problem. Nobody wants to be lamenting. But we're sitting here lamenting. And if you're not lamenting yet, and you still think hope is around the corner, you'll just be disappointed later, and you will lament. So why wait? Just realize now. If not, don't worry. Maybe you're not ripe yet in this lifetime, and you have to lament. It's actually the great mercy of the Lord to be in lamentation. But there is a next part. So he says, I'm a soul surrendered unto you, please instruct me. Now what's Krishna say? Does anyone remember what's the first instruction of Bhagavad Gita by Krishna? This verse. Anyone know what it means? He says, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Ashocyan Anvashochastvang Pragyavadangscha Bhashase Gatasuna Gatasumscha Nanushochanti Pandita. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha means the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Ashocyan Anvashochastvam. Ashocyan means that which is worthy of lamentation, or that which is not. Shocyan is lamentable, and ashocyan means not that which is not lamentable. Anvashochastvam. Tvam, you, anvashochas, you're lamenting. You're lamenting for that which is not lamentable. Pragyavadams shabashase. You're speaking many learned words. Arjuna was speaking, his whole first chapter were the conclusions of the Vedas. He was giving this conclusion he read in the Vedas. I read from this book. I read from this book. And all of this say this, but still I'm lamenting. So Krishna says, Pragyavadams chabashase. You are speaking learned word. Pragyavadams, learned words. Chabashase, you're speaking. But then he says, Gatasun agatasums cha. For lost life, meaning for the dead, Gatasun, asun is life, gata is lost, or agatasums, for not lost life, meaning the living. Cha, nanusho chanti pandita. He's saying that a pundit, a learned person, nanusho chanti, they will never lament. So he's saying you're lamenting, but you're speaking learned words, that you know this, you know that, you know this. But learned people don't lament. So you just check if you're learned. Do you have a lot to be? Do you feel there's a lot lamentable in your life? If you're lamenting, if you're complaining, if you're upset with the circumstances of life, just know you're not learned. Actually, this is the indication here. If we are complaining, if we don't think life is perfect, then we're actually not learned. But if we, what's a pundit usually? Who's considered a pundit in this world?
Someone who studies the Vedas?
What's that?
Someone who studies the Vedas?
No, but who, in popular conventional society, who's called the pundits? Professors and news people, and people who are like learned on subjects on the news and stuff like that. But what do they mostly do? Especially the news pundits. They speculate, but then they also do this thing. They're always complaining, right, about someone else. Look what this guy did over here. Look what Trump did now, and now look what Joe Biden did. Or look where who was the last? Who did Trump run against last time? Oh, it was Kamala. Yeah. So and look what she did, and look what he did, and look at this. They all just complain about each other. So are they pandita by the Bhagavad Gita's definition? No, they're not learned at all. So Krishna pretty much tells Arjuna, you're not learned. Why? Because you're lamenting. People who lament are not learned, actually. If you have lots to complain about in your life, it's because you're not very... I'm not trying to be facetious or condescending. It's because we're not smart, actually. Because we don't actually understand real knowledge. So what's the knowledge that Krishna gives? What's the next verses?
Do not lament, for they're already dead, and I can't remember.
Well, now you got it right here. Ready? Natvevahang jatu nasang natvang neme janadipa nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamata param. Okay, it means never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Why was Arjuna lamenting? Oh, I don't want to lose my...
He kills his family or his guru and all that, they would die and no one would be...
Yes. He didn't want to kill his guru and teachers on one side, and he didn't want his relatives and his family and all the righteous kings on the other side. It was just like a complete debacle. But why was he actually lamenting? Because he was attaching to the body and the temporary relationship of things. That's why he was lamenting. If he knew what Krishna, if he in his heart fully knew, he knew all these things. Arjuna is a pure devotee. But he was fallen into this lamentation for the sake of giving the Bhagavad Gita. But for the sake of the Bhagavad Gita, if Arjuna knew this knowledge, he wouldn't have been lamenting. So. So this has to be known, actually. If we don't understand that we are the Sakshi, we're the witnessing soul, and we're not this body and we're not the mind, then our destination is to lament in this world. Because everything that the mind tries to attach to, everything that is enjoyed by the body, is all lamentable. Means it all will come to an end and it'll all be lost. So if you place your pleasure and your happiness in trying to enjoy the body and the identity that you've composed of yourself, even your devotional identity, we make it a devotional identity of ourselves, but a temporary arrangement. These are called upadhis, or designations. So this has to be understood by all of us. Until we understand that we're a soul and we actually live from that consciousness, we will lament. But who reveals that? Krishna. No, yes, but also Prabhupada explains in the purport we read, who's revealing that? How does Krishna reveal it? Does Krishna come and speak Bhagavad Gita personally for all of us? His representative. He will always at least send a saint. He'll always at least send a saint to reveal Bhagavad Gita to you. To reveal that you're a soul. And you have to act like and live by a soul. As a soul. Madhav, Hare Krishna, you made it back. So very good. So this has to be realized. Until we know that we're a soul and actually can live by those teachings, our destination is we will always lament. And Krishna will have to ask us. That's why he asks at the end of the Kachire touch Trutang Partha. Have you heard this with one pointed attention? And then what's the next part? Tvaya Kagrena Chetasa. Have you heard this with one pointed attention? Have you really paid attention to what I'm telling you? Kachira Jnana Samaho. Has your ignorance and your bewilderment been dispelled? That's your symptom. Do you feel like I know exactly what to do for happiness in life? If not, you need to have a spiritual master explain Bhagavad Gita to you. You need someone to reveal all of these things to you. And that is the next stage out of Vishada Yoga. From going to the stage of you're going to lament in this world, and it's good. It's great, because you've made a realization. This world cannot make you happy. It's impossible. You cannot be always happy with temporary situations. It's impossible. They all go away. Pizza cannot always make you happy. It's just a temporary happy. Soda cannot always make it's just a temporary arrangement. And actually, they'll probably all cause problems later on. And you'll find a lot of unhappiness from these things. Like, Avani is a very cute personality. Sometimes if she sees a sweet she really likes, she'll say, you know what, I'm not eating the rest of the meal, I just want to eat the whole sweet. And I was joking with her that this is fine, Avani, when you're this age, but if you do that as you keep getting older, you're going to have a problem. So, this world is like that. It's just a perfect microcosm example of what this world is. We try to extract the really pleasurable parts of this world. Maybe it's sex life, maybe it's entertainment, maybe it's family life even. But at the end of the day, it can't always be enjoyed, and it will become a lamentable situation as you lose it or you lose your position in it. Because your body is temporary. Your designation as the patriarch or matriarch or whatever position you have acquired in this world, in career, in your family, in your society, it's all temporary, it's all going to go away, and you have to be at peace with that. And the only way you can be at peace with that is when you are not identifying with that. And that's why the way out of Ishada Yoga, or the Yoga of Lamentation, is you have to have revelation that you're a soul. But it's not your own, yes, I will discover now, and let me just work very hard. You can try. And Krishna even gives Karma Yoga for that purpose. Karma Yoga is taking your work, that which you're already doing, and trying to offer it to the Supreme. But that's not what Arjuna did. Arjuna took the path of taking a spiritual master. And the spiritual master told him about Karma Yoga. And then not to be attached to the fruits of your work, and just offer them to the Supreme. Do them for the higher purpose, but don't be attached to them. Do them for the well-being of all, and for the supreme pleasure. Then this arises Jnana Yoga, where you'll actually understand what is reality here. Okay, this is Prakriti, this is the temporary material nature, this is me, the eternal spiritual soul, this is the Lord, the eternal spiritual Lord here. This is karma, the temporary activities of this world, and this is kala, the unstoppable force of time which destroys everything. How do I distinguish how to properly act here? This is Jnana Yoga. But then Krishna ultimately, he gives the teaching of Bhakti Yoga, which is, don't worry about all this other stuff. Just know that I'm there. I'm here for you. I'm going to get you out of this lamentation. There's a wonderful existence waiting for you. Just reestablish the relationship with me. And this is Bhakti Yoga, yes.
It seems important to realize too that Arjuna was in a position of power, wealth, very high in the material platform.
Yes.
And yet he came to that limitation.
Everybody. Arjuna had the best of everything. He was a prince. He was like the ruler of the world, had everything. And then, but by the force of time and circumstance, eventually it's all lost. And he lost everything too. So he's seen it all, and now he's come to reclaim it all in the war. But yeah, this is a good point. He had everything. And not only that, he practiced the Vedas perfectly. He did everything by the book that he was supposed to do. But still, he came to the conclusion of lamentation. So, what choice do we have? Of course our lives are lamentable. Yes?
I read just recently where Prabhupada said, even if you go to Brahmaloka and you live luxuriously, you're beautiful, lots of sense enjoyment, and you live for thousands of years, it's still no good because you still have to die.
Yeah, you're still going to lose it. It's still that all what you achieve, all the pleasures you achieve there will eventually have to go, and you will reach the Vishada or lamentable situation. But until we understand what Krishna is teaching here, that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Until the eternal reality is understood and actually identified with, then we can't know a happiness. So this is the foundational teachings of Bhagavad Gita. But you can't come from a state of ignorance. And imagine, ignorance is, when we chant Om Ajnana Timirandasya, it's Ajnana or ignorance is compared to the darkness felt in a blind situation. Just close your eyes and imagine trying. Have you ever tried to walk around with your eyes closed? It's like, or did you ever get in a really pitch black situation and you can't see anything? Oh my God, the power went out or this or that. Imagine walking around your life like that. So what does he say? Jnananjana Shalakaya. Due to the ointment of knowledge with a Shalakaya, if you're blind, and that blind person is very, if we see a blind person walking down the road, we're going to be very concerned, If a blind person is supposed to have care and they got out and they're wandering around the road, we're going to be very concerned because they're going to hurt themselves. But if you go up to the blind person and you say, "Sir, please come with us, we're going to help you." And he says, "No, I know exactly where I'm going." You're going to be like, "What are you doing?" But that's us in this material world. We're walking around blind. We might even know that we're a soul. We might even know some basic philosophy. But until we have somebody who's not blind guide us and open our eye. That's what that verse means. Jnananjana Shalakaya. Shalakaya is a tool. A Shalakaya is like a medical tool. And with the medical tool, what do? The doctor will take cataracts out of a blind person's eyes. So Jnananjana, with the ointment of knowledge. So only someone with knowledge can take the cataracts out of your eyes and give you that knowledge. So what you need to do, all you can do is hope that a person with knowledge finds you, wandering blind in this world. So that's the next step. That's what Arjuna did. He was in good fortune. He had Krishna there. Krishna was there in the situation and he had given him knowledge. and he's giving him knowledge. That's what the Bhagavad Gita is, divine knowledge. You can also get Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, how do you get knowledge? There's a 3-step process how to get knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. Madhav, you'll tell us this verse. And explain it for the class.
To understand truth, to try to learn the truth, you have to go before one who knows the truth, the spiritual master. And you have to go before him humbly. You have to actually be humble within your heart. And you have to inquire from him submissively, asking him relevant questions according to your life circumstances and what you need to hear. And then you also need to render him service and render service to his associates, the Vaishnavas. And by doing this, because he's a seer of the truth or a Tattva Darshana, he can actually give you that transcendental knowledge that he has acquired from his guru and his teachers. And so, in that way, you can receive true knowledge.
Yes. So the 3-part process is what Madhav just said. If you actually want to understand knowledge, you have to approach one who has the knowledge, someone who's Tattva Darshana. They actually see the truth. They're not walking around blind. They're like we understand we're blind. I'm in a blind situation. I can't see my good fortune and happiness in life. I'm not feeling great about life. And so we have to find a person who is. They're beyond that. They're also not lamenting. They're not in Vishada Yoga and it's just Kali Yuga and the material world sucks. It's not like that. The spiritually realized person is actually joyous. They're blissful. They have something to be blissful. They have a realization that will make them blissful. And that blissful realization can come to you too. But there is a process. You have to become humble before them. Like Trinadapi Sunichena, this most important verse of a Vaishnava, is that we have to be more humble than grass. Grass, when you step on grass, it eventually will retake its shape. It'll eventually get its pride back and stand back up again. But actually, we need to be more humble than grass, where we have to, stay down. Not to think we have no self-worth or anything like that, but we have to not rise back up into a position of pride. So we have to be even more humble than grass. Nidhi, don't worry, we're coming to your ceremony just now. So it's Krishna telling us it's time. So listen, we're going to end here. If there's any questions, we can take 1 or 2 questions before we go on to the next thing. Parth, you probably have to transition to the next portion of the offering. You just offered. What? No, he has to. So we have to stall a little bit of time. So anyway, this is the situation of Bhagavad Gita. Vishada Yoga, first realization is that this world and your life is lamentable. If you haven't figured it out yet, just realize that you have to die. Everything that you know and love in this world has to go away, and it's going to go away. And then, if you actually realize that, you will come to Vishada Yoga. You'll start lamenting. Then, next step, if you realize that you are in this Vishada and you don't know what to do, you can follow the wisdom that, like Arjuna, of what he did with Krishna. He surrendered unto a person with knowledge. And he followed the path that Madhav said that Krishna revealed in Bhagavad Gita. Humbly asked all the questions he needed to ask to get out all of his doubts, and rendered them service. With the service mood of always wanting to render them service. And naturally, if you do this to a saint, they will pour their mercy on you. If you actually render service to a saint, they can't help to be merciful to you. Even if in the beginning they're not so interested. Actually, in the beginning, often gurus, they're not so interested in disciples. Especially very prominent gurus like Gaura Das Babaji, he didn't want anybody as a disciple. I don't want all these people. They're just materialists. All they want are material things. I'm not here to be their fashionable guru. But Bhakti Siddhanta was so adamant and so sincere that eventually he conquered Gaura heart with the mood of service. You can't go and pickpocket a sadhu. I'm going to go hear from this sadhu. I'm going to... Actually, it doesn't work. Divine knowledge can't be taken like that, actually. It can only come to the humble heart who is ready to engage in all service. and also ready to reveal their heart in the form of their questions. That's the process of receiving knowledge. So, and this is your process out of the state of lamentation. This is why Krishna gives Bhagavad Gita. You can read all the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and it's very, very good. But until you yourself clear all of your doubts that are going to naturally arise due to taking this in from the state of ignorance, then it won't be fully complete. So, we need to find. If not in this life, next life. But we must find. And this is the process. So, and even if you do find such a saintly personality, but if you yourself don't become humble before them, you yourself don't fully reveal your heart and all your questions to them, and you yourself aren't ready to fully render service, then that exchange of knowledge can't fully come. So, this is the situation. This world's lamentable, but there's a way out. And this is the process of Bhagavad Gita. So take to this process. Any questions? Mukunda.
What happens to these people that are in ignorance that follow these rascal gurus or people that say they're God?
Yes. Well, since that person is a cheater and they're not really out of the lamentable situation, and their situation, their temporary situation of taking the position of so-called God in a Sangha eventually will run out with death. So those people trying to learn from somebody who has a lamentable situation themselves, all they could achieve is, again, a lamentable situation. So unless you learn from somebody who is free from lamentation, can you be free from lamentation? So this is why we need a personality who is beyond, who can actually Gyananjana Shalakaya, apply the ointment of knowledge. Like one of the gurus dropped something as we were talking about. Yeah, he dropped flowers. This is actually a very auspicious sign. That Krishnadas Kaviraj, he wrote the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita when this happened, when he was praying to Madan Mohan for blessings to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then Madan Mohan dropped the garland, signifying here's the blessings. So maybe Gorakishore Das Babaji is confirming what I'm saying. But so unless you find a personality who's beyond this state of lamentation and willing to apply the ointment of knowledge upon you and remove your ignorance, then your guarantee is a state of lamentation life after life. Samsara dava nalalita loka. Yes.
But what if, like what he was asking, what if you're very sincere and you just happen to follow?
If you're very sincere, you will not find an insincere person. Or if you are sincere and you find that they're insincere, then you'll eventually move on.
It'll become obvious.
It'll become evident. Absolutely. So like, also, if you're sincere, you'll go through the Vedic wisdom scriptures and you'll realize verses like Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shraya Uttamam Shabde Paricha Nishnatam Brahmanyupasham Ashraya. The symptoms of a guru, that they are fully conversant with all Vedic wisdom. They know all the Vedic conclusions. You left, right, back, and center. They can say it backwards. Everything. Even Gorakishore Das Babaji, he was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. But still, he was just spouting all the Vedic conclusions. He knew all of Narottam Das Thakur's prayers by heart and everything. He knew all the full conclusions. So this is a symptom of a guru. He knows everything. And Brahman, he's totally absorbed in the Lord. You can see by how he lives his life, everything is for the Lord. Vacho Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udurapasta Vegam. All of his urges, everything is focused on the Lord. And Upashamashra, he's completely detached materially. You're not going to find a guru who's ready to take all kinds of material opulences in this world. They're not using. You can study. You're supposed to study their life, and it'll become obvious it's impossible to fake being a guru, such a personality, for too long. The sincere person, it will be able to see. So it will become evident, So even just what we're saying today, The reason I'm saying I gave this class to the RIT group is because that's the problem there. There is a guru who's presenting a certain thing, but if they actually apply these things, it'll be sniffed out, and the sincere person will realize that no, this isn't actually the solution. How many glasses of water do I need? I already drank some of this water, but no. Okay. Anyway, anything else? Okay. So now we need Nidhi here, though. Yes. So we're going to do a little ceremony. It's a very special day. Maybe we'll explain it a little bit. Nidhi has reached the age, I forget, what is the one for girls? Is it 6 months for girls? I don't know. So anyway, in the Vedic culture and time, the time where the first food grains are eaten is a very special time. And we try to only eat food grains that are offered to the Lord. And actually, if we don't eat food grains that are offered to the Lord, and they're cooked by materialists, do you know what Lord Chaitanya says happens to the mind? It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Do you know? He says the mind will turn to stool. Like poop. We should be very, very, very adamant about only taking, especially the grains. We should only take grains from that which is first offered to the Lord. Otherwise, that consciousness infused upon us will turn our minds to stool. So Taposh and Tanushri are very intelligent, because now on Nidhi's first grains that she's going to take, they've chose to, at the temple, they wanted to offer, make it a celebration with the Vaishnavas and offer it to the Lord and take that prasadam as the first grains. So this is so important, actually, and this is a Vedic samskara. So what we're going to do is we will try. Do you think Nidhi would cooperate for a little flower shower if we? So we'll try. So we're all gonna come together. We're gonna make we're gonna clear up all the cushions. So, and maybe we can have mom and baby sitting on the ground, but maybe we can put. I'll give 1 second. Nidhi and mom can sit here. Take all the good flowers we can here. Okay. In the summer, the flower petals don't stay as good, so we're not going to have everyone do as much as we normally would. The roses are very good. So everyone, be very sparing with the flowers, because we should have actually had a little bit more. Everyone take a handful of flowers. And just sprinkle a few at a time. I'm going to say many mantras that are for Nidhi's blessings in this world, and that she can serve great personalities. And when I say swaha, we're going to offer that prayer, and we're going to bless her with a shower of flowers, of all flowers that we've been offered to the Lord. Mukunda, you got? Kriti, you'll take?
I'm taking video record.
You won't give your blessings?
Okay, I'll
So push. And do we have more parts? Deep to your head? So you have. And then me and you, Parth, we need. None of you, everyone else have?
Easy.
Good enough. So you take one and I'll take one. Alright, everyone come circle around Nidhi here. So we're going to chant some prayers of the goal of us chanting these prayers is that we're going to offer this prayer to the Lord, and may her life, she be able to fulfill this prayer. So this one, there are many prayers, I can't explain all of them. But please, join in this prayer. So, if you know this prayer, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha. Sprinkle. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Swaha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Svaha. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shri Vishakam Vitanscha Swaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Swaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Swaha. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Swaha. And all together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha. Namo Mahabhadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Gorektishe Namaha, Swaha. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Richaya Cha, Jagatitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Swaha. Naham Dipro Nacha Narapatir, Napi Vaishyo Nashudro, Naham Bani Nacha Grapatir, Novanishto Yativa, Kintu Pradyan Nikila Paramananda Purnamritabdir, Gopi Bhakti Parakamalayo Dasa Dasanudasaha Swaha. Yay! So now we'll have Arti, and after the Arti, the first grain will be taken when all the offering will be finished. Parth will be finished. Mukunda, you can blow the conch now. So maybe actually, can we get someone to sweep this up for the Arti? No, it's okay, it's okay. We know all the things here. So, everyone rise for Arti. And then we'll watch Nidhi take her first grains. Shri Garnitai Ki Shri Prahlad Nrsimha Bhagavan Ki Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Shri Guru Gaura Gandharva Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ju Ki Jai. Again. Yasho. Oh, you gotta end the Zoom too.
And
I'll end it. Yasho Mati